At the beginning of the story, we see a fisherman named Solomon. Solomon has a small family that includes his wife, his 2 young children, and an elder son. Solomon wants to educate his elder son and make him a doctor. He doesn't want his son to become a fisherman like him. However, Solomon is extremely poor. One day, when his son's school is dismissed, Solomon is bringing him back home. On the way, he tells his son that due to poverty he himself could not study, but he promises that he will definitely make his son a doctor. While they are talking, Solomon suddenly notices that a terrorist group is moving toward their village to launch an attack. Seeing this, Solomon quickly runs toward the village with his son and reaches his house as fast as possible. There, he tells his wife and children that they must immediately leave the house because terrorists are coming to attack the village. He breaks the back wall of the house and helps his wife and children escape through the rear route. Somehow, he succeeds in sending his family away safely. However, Solomon himself gets caught by the terrorists. The terrorists capture many villagers and kill several people. This terrorist group also includes children who hate the government, and they kill anyone who supports it. The leader of the group is cutting off people's hands so that they cannot vote for the government. When it is Solomon's turn and a terrorist is about to cut off his hand, the group leader stops him. The leader notices that Solomon is strong and physically fit. Because of this, they put Solomon into a jeep and take him to a place where many laborers are searching for raw diamonds in a river. The terrorists brutally torture these laborers and force Solomon to work with them in searching for diamonds. In reality, this terrorist group runs a business of raw diamonds. In exchange for these diamonds, they buy weapons to strengthen their army and fight the government. The captured villagers are forced to search for diamonds in the river while armed terrorists stand over them, pointing guns to ensure no one steals a diamond. The group leader shouts at the laborers that anyone who tries to steal a diamond will be killed. Solomon is also searching for diamonds along with the others when one laborer finds a small piece of diamond. Greed awakens in the laborer's heart, and instead of handing the diamond to the leader, he hides it in his mouth. The terrorist leader notices this and calls the laborer over, demanding the diamond. The laborer takes the diamond out of his mouth and hands it over. After taking the diamond, the leader immediately shoots the laborer dead. Seeing this, all the workers are terrified, and Solomon witnesses everything. The scene then cuts, and we see the story's main character, Danny, arriving near the terrorist camp in a helicopter. He asks about Captain Zero. The terrorists point guns at Danny and take him to Captain Zero. The captain gives Danny some diamonds and asks for weapons in return. Danny agrees, saying they will get the guns. In reality, Danny is a smuggler who trades weapons for diamonds. He has been smuggling these diamonds for many years and is very professional at it, always managing to cross the border by fooling the police. This time, Danny carries some goats and hides the diamonds inside the skin of one goat. While crossing the border, the police stop him. Danny believes that, as always, he will escape by deceiving the police, but this time luck is not on his side. The police search the goats, find the diamonds, and arrest Danny. He is then sent to jail. Meanwhile, we are shown the diamond mine again, where all the laborers are searching for diamonds, including Solomon. Suddenly, Solomon finds a very large diamond. Seeing it, his eyes widen in shock because the diamond is extremely large. Now Solomon starts thinking whether he should give this diamond to the gang leader or not. Just a short while earlier, the leader had killed a man for a much smaller diamond. Out of fear, Solomon considers handing it over, but then he thinks that this diamond could make him rich. Luckily, at that moment, the water pump that releases high-pressure water breaks down, diverting everyone's attention. Taking advantage of the moment, Solomon hides the large diamond between his toes. He realizes that if he doesn't hide it properly, he will be caught and killed for stealing a diamond. Cleverly, Solomon makes an excuse to go to the bathroom. A terrorist allows him to go, but just as Solomon is about to leave, the group leader approaches him and starts checking him thoroughly. Solomon feels certain he will be caught, but despite a very careful search, the leader finds nothing because the diamond is hidden very securely. The leader lets Solomon go. Solomon walks far away and sits in the bushes, where he is about to bury the diamond in a pit. Suddenly, the group leader appears from behind, points a gun at Solomon, and orders him to hand over the diamond, warning him not to be clever or he will be killed. Solomon is just about to give the diamond when the country's army attacks the area. The leader who is demanding the diamond gets badly injured. Solomon quickly hides the diamond inside a bracelet and runs away. However, the army soldiers mistake him for a terrorist, capture him, and send him to jail. This is the same jail where Danny is imprisoned. Danny is also there. Soon, guards bring in a badly injured man on a stretcher. That man is none other than the terrorist group's leader, the same person who had seen the large diamond with Solomon. When he sees Solomon, he starts shouting and says, "Give me back my diamond that you stole from me." The group leader tells the prisoners around Solomon that this man has a very large diamond, so large that he has never seen anything like it in his entire life. He announces that whoever brings his diamond back from Solomon will be rewarded with $10,000. Hearing about the money, all the prisoners start looking at Solomon. Danny is also watching all of this, and Solomon realizes that these people will not leave him alone. In anger, he shouts at the terrorist leader, saying that he does not have any diamond. He takes off his clothes and says, "Look for yourself. Search me. Where is the diamond?" By doing this, Solomon manages to fool all the prisoners present there, but not Danny. Danny understands that Solomon truly has a very large diamond. Many days pass in prison, and after serving his sentence, Danny is released. After getting out, he meets his friend and tells him that there is a man named Solomon in prison who has a very large piece of diamond. He says they will have to get Solomon out of jail as well, so that they can learn about that diamond. Danny's friend tells him that they will need money to get Solomon released. Danny replies, "Don't worry about the money. I'll handle it." Danny stays in a hotel for a few days. We then see him remove one of his fake teeth and take out a diamond hidden inside it. He sends that diamond to the market and uses part of the money to pay his friend so that Solomon can be released from jail. In reality, Danny has no sympathy for Solomon. He only wants to obtain that diamond from him. A few days later, Solomon is also freed from prison. As soon as he comes out, his friend approaches him, gives him some money, and hands him Danny's contact information, telling him to get in touch with Danny. But Solomon does not do that at all. Instead of contacting Danny, he starts searching for his family. On the other hand, Danny goes to a bar, where he meets a woman named Maddy. Danny is attracted to her, but during their conversation, when he finds out that Maddy is a reporter, he immediately decides to leave. The reporter already knows that Danny is a diamond smuggler, and now she starts following him to learn more about diamond smuggling. She asks Danny about a man named Rolex, but Danny refuses to tell her anything about him. In fact, Rolex is the biggest diamond businessman in America. Meanwhile, we see Solomon go into a refugee camp to search for his family, but he does not find anyone there. He even checks the list posted outside, but there is no information about his family. In reality, Solomon's family was hiding from the terrorist group in a mountainous area. However, the terrorists arrive there as well and capture many people, including Solomon's son, and take them with them. The terrorist group takes these children to their base, where they brainwash them. They give the children guns and teach them how to kill people. They also inject the children with drugs so they can force them to commit terrible acts. Now we see Danny again, when a man approaches him and hands him a note, saying that the colonel has called for him. Danny then goes to meet the colonel. In fact, Danny has been with the colonel since he was 19 years old. For many years, Danny served in the colonel's private army, but now he has left that job. The colonel is a very cruel man who can use anyone for his own benefit. He is called Danny because he has now also learned about the large diamond. The colonel tells Danny that last time, because of him, he suffered a huge loss of diamonds. Therefore, now Danny must bring him that large diamond. Previously, when Danny was caught crossing the border with diamonds hidden inside goat skins, some of those diamonds belonged to the colonel as well. That is why the colonel tells Danny that he is in his debt. In reality, all of them are connected to each other. Danny works for the colonel. The colonel supplies weapons to Danny, and Danny delivers those weapons to the terrorist group. In return, Danny takes diamonds from the terrorists and gives them to the colonel. The colonel then delivers these diamonds to Rolex, the biggest diamond businessman in America. In this way, their illegal business continues, and many innocent lives are lost because of it. In the next scene, we see Danny and Solomon together. Danny tells Solomon that the large diamond also belongs to him, because he got Solomon released from prison. But Solomon ignores Danny and says that he does not have any diamond. Danny then tells Solomon that if he wants to meet his family again, he should know that in this world, Danny is the only person who can reunite him with his family. But for that, Solomon will have to do one job for him. You will have to do it. Tell me about the diamond you have. In return, I will reunite you with your family and give you a lot of money. Hearing this, Solomon falls into deep thought, wondering whether he should tell him about the diamond or not. Just then, the terrorists launch an attack. They start firing bullets, and many people are killed. Danny, who was once a soldier, manages to save Solomon and escape from the area where the refugee camp was set up. The reporter also arrives there. Danny tells her that he is ready to help her and will give her all the information she needs. But in return, she must help them find Solomon's family. Since she is a reporter and has access to a lot of data, she agrees. The reporter then takes Danny and Solomon by helicopter to another location where there is a different refugee camp. When Solomon reaches near the camp, he sees his family. He is overjoyed, and his wife is also extremely happy to see him. However, when Solomon does not see his elder son, he asks his wife where their son is. His wife starts crying and says that the terrorists took him away. Hearing this, Solomon becomes deeply saddened and starts shouting in anger. The security there removes him from the camp, saying that his name is not on the refugee list. The three of them get back into the helicopter and leave. Solomon sees no other way to save his family, so he tells Danny that he will reveal the location of the diamond. However, he puts a condition that whatever money comes from it, Danny must help him rescue his son from the terrorists. Danny agrees. They begin preparing to go there, but reaching that place is not easy because the terrorists are extremely dangerous. Danny says that the man he works for is a colonel who has a full army unit capable of fighting these terrorists. He suggests that they should first go to him. Everyone agrees, and the three of them set off by vehicle. After covering some distance, they continue on foot through the jungle. The jungle is very dense, and after traveling for several hours, they lose their way. They are confused about which direction to go. Suddenly, they are surrounded by tribal people of the forest. However, the reporter starts speaking to them in their own language and assures them that they mean no harm. She asks them not to hurt them either. As a result, friendship develops, and the tribespeople take them to their settlement, where they rest for a while. There, Danny notices that the reporter looks very troubled. He asks her about it, and she explains that she could have lived a peaceful life if she wanted to, but she chose not to. She says she has a passion for saving the world and wants to stop injustice and wrongdoing wherever it happens. However, she is now tired of writing tragic stories because they do not affect people much. She wants to tell rich people that the precious diamond jewelry they wear often comes at the cost of someone's hand or even someone's life. She believes that once they know this truth, they will stop wearing such jewelry. But to reveal this truth, she needs evidence, and Danny can give her that evidence. Hearing this, Danny becomes emotional and promises to give her all the proof. He starts revealing details about illegal diamond smuggling, including his own involvement, the colonel's role, and the biggest diamond businessman in America, Rolex. He tells her that Rolex is also responsible for the smuggling of diamonds and the deaths of innocent people. The reporter asks Danny to give her proof of all this. Danny agrees, but says he will give her everything after he obtains the large diamond. The reporter then asks if he plans to steal the diamond from Solomon. Danny smiles and replies that the diamond is his ticket out of South Africa, and he will obtain it at any cost. The next morning, they reach a military camp, which turns out to belong to the same colonel for whom Danny once worked. Danny meets the colonel, who asks him to rejoin the military because they are about to launch an operation to eliminate the terrorists. Danny advises him not to act so quickly, explaining that the terrorists would escape. He suggests that he and Solomon should first go there, assess the situation, and then contact the colonel so that he can attack with his team. The colonel agrees. Danny then goes straight to the reporter and tells her that he and Solomon are leaving. Hearing this, the reporter becomes very emotional, as she and Danny have started liking each other. Danny gives her a diary containing all the details about Rolex and his raw diamond business. Before leaving, Danny tells her that he will definitely call her when he gets a chance. After that, Danny and Solomon move toward the place where Solomon had buried the diamond. After traveling through the jungle for many hours, Night falls. While moving through the forest at night, they see a vehicle from the terrorist group approaching, with several children standing inside holding guns. Among those children, Solomon recognizes his son. Upon seeing his son, Solomon loses control and calls out to him. Before his son can see him, the other boys notice Solomon and start firing at them. Danny and Solomon run for their lives and hide behind bushes. Since it is nighttime and the jungle is pitch dark, the terrorists fail to find them and eventually leave. In the morning, Danny scolds Solomon, saying that because of his shouting, they could have lost their lives. Solomon replies that he could not control himself after seeing his son. Danny tells him not to repeat such a mistake again. They continue moving toward the location of the diamond. However, after going some distance, Solomon suddenly changes direction. Danny angrily stops him and says that the diamond is in the other direction. Solomon replies that he wants to find his son and that his son is in this direction. An argument breaks out between them, escalating to the point where they are about to fight. Danny then points a gun at Solomon's head. Solomon says that he is already dead, and if Danny wants to kill him, he can do so, but he will find his son no matter what. Hearing this, Danny realizes that Solomon is right. They reconcile and continue together. Eventually, they get very close to the place where Solomon had hidden the diamond. Using binoculars, they observe the area where laborers are working under the guard of many armed terrorists. They realize that attacking at that moment would not be wise. When night falls, Solomon sneaks into the terrorist camp to search for his son. There, Solomon sees his son playing cards with some boys. He approaches him and tries to call him, but his son refuses to recognize him. The boy pushes Solomon away and tells his companions that this man is an enemy. All of them point their guns at Solomon, capture him, and take him to their commander. That commander is none other than the same man who had been injured earlier because of Solomon. Danny, watching all this from a distance, realizes that this is the perfect moment to finish them. He contacts his colonel and asks him to attack the area immediately. The commander, seeing Solomon, says that he knew Solomon would come looking for the diamond, and now that he is here, he must hand it over. Solomon refuses to give the diamond. Enraged, the commander grabs Solomon's son and threatens that if Solomon does not reveal the diamond, he will kill his son right there. Now, Solomon is forced to act in order to save his son. Solomon is just about to reveal the location of the diamond when the colonel's men arrive. They descend from helicopters and begin firing indiscriminately at everyone below. Solomon's son becomes extremely frightened and is about to be hit by bullets, but Danny rushes in and saves him. At the same time, Solomon kills the terrorist group's commander. The colonel's men kill all the terrorists present and take control of the entire area. After that, the colonel approaches Danny and asks him to tell him about the diamond. Danny replies that he will tell him, but they will split it 50-50. The colonel immediately agrees. Seeing this, Danny becomes suspicious because the colonel is a ruthless man who can kill anyone for money. Danny realizes that once the diamond is found, the colonel will kill both him and Solomon. Danny goes to Solomon and quietly whispers in his ear that when Solomon takes out the diamond, he should distract the colonel. Taking advantage of the moment, Danny will shoot the colonel right there. He explains that if they do not do this, the colonel will kill them as soon as he gets the diamond. Solomon agrees. They all move toward the place where Solomon had hidden the diamond. After reaching the spot, Solomon starts digging the ground where he had buried it. Just as Solomon is about to take out the diamond, Danny suddenly attacks the colonel's men, snatches their weapons, and kills them. Danny also shoots the colonel, but during the fight, Danny himself is hit by a bullet. Solomon retrieves the diamond and hands it to Danny. As they are about to leave, Solomon's son suddenly appears and points a gun at Danny because he has been completely brainwashed. Solomon calls out to him, telling him that he is his father, but the boy refuses to recognize him. Then Solomon reminds him of his mother, their home, and his brothers and sisters. Hearing this, the boy starts crying and embraces his father. Just then, more army men arrive, so they begin to flee to save themselves. On the way, Danny calls one of his friends and asks him to bring a helicopter. After some time, the helicopter arrives, but it cannot land there, so it is scheduled to land on the top of a nearby hill. After walking some distance, Danny can no longer continue because of his gunshot wound. Solomon carries him on his shoulders but Danny has lost too much blood. He tells Solomon that he cannot go any farther, and that Solomon must continue alone. Danny takes the diamond out of his pocket and gives it to Solomon. Solomon says that he thought Danny would steal the diamond from him. Laughing, Danny replies that he had thought about it too, but now he believes that Solomon needs the diamond more than anyone else. He says that this diamond is the future of Solomon's son, reminding him that Solomon had once said he wanted to make his son a doctor. Hearing this, Solomon becomes deeply emotional. Danny not only gives the diamond to Solomon, but also gives him the reporter's contact details. He hands Solomon his gun and tells him that the helicopter will arrive soon to pick him up. He warns Solomon not to trust the man who comes and to shoot him immediately if anything seems suspicious. Solomon and his son move toward the helicopter, but then the colonel's men arrive from below. Danny provides cover for Solomon and his son, killing the colonel's men. After that, Danny calls the reporter, whom he had grown to like. Hearing Danny's voice, the reporter becomes very happy. Danny tells her that she must do him a favor. He has sent Solomon and his son to her, and she must rescue them. The reporter asks if he is injured. Danny replies that yes, he is injured, but he is sitting in a very beautiful place. He says he is glad that he met her. After saying this, Danny ends a call, and right there, Danny dies. A short while later, a helicopter arrives to pick up Solomon and his son, and they fly away. After that, we are shown that Solomon reaches London, where he meets the reporter. The reporter explains to Solomon that he must give the diamond to Rolex, the biggest diamond businessman in America. Rolex is the man running this entire operation and is responsible for the deaths of many innocent people, as well as for what happened to Danny and Solomon. Solomon agrees with the reporter and goes to meet Rolex, where he makes a deal with him. Solomon tells Rolex that he must reunite him with his family, and in return, he will give him the diamond. Rolex agrees, reunites Solomon with his family, and also gives him a bag full of money. Meanwhile, the reporter secretly records everything on camera. The reporter already has more evidence against Rolex, which Danny had given her earlier. Based on this evidence, she publishes an expose in her magazine about Rolex's illegal raw diamond business. When the government learns about Rolex's criminal activities, they arrest him. The reporter also shares Solomon's entire story with the world. At the end of the story, we see Solomon attending a conference with powerful politicians. They welcome him and applaud him. Standing among them, Solomon looks at Danny's photograph printed in the magazine. With this, the story comes to an end. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel and like the video.